Okay, I'm going to tell you all the story. There's two different ways to tell most every story. I'm sure you've heard this story one way, but I'm going to tell it another way. It's called The Prodigal Son. It's out of the Bible, and this is the part I'm going to tell you is called Melody in F. Feeling footloose and frisky, a feather-brained fellow forced his fond father to fork over the farthings. He flew far to foreign fields and fretted his fortune, feasting fabulously with faithless France. Finally facing famine and fleeced by his fellows in folly, he found himself a thief-flinger in a filthy farmyard. Fairly famishing, he fain would have filled his frame with the porridge food from the fodder fragments. Phooey, my father's flunky's fair far fancier. The frazzled fugitive fumed feverishly, frankly facing facts. Frustrated by failure and filled with foreboding, he fled forthwith to his family, and falling at his father's feet, he floundered forlornly. Father, I have flunked, and fruitlessly forfeited family favor. But the faithful father, forestalling further flinching, flagged forth the flunkies to fetch the finest fowling and fix a feast. The fugitive's fault-finding freighter frowned on such fickle forgiveness of former falderall. His fury flashed, but fussing was futile. The far-sighted father figured, such vile fidelity is fine, but what forbids fervent festivity? For the fugitive is found. Unfurled the flags with fanfares flaring, let fun and frolic freely flow. Former failure is forgotten, folly forsaken. Forgiveness forms the foundation for future fortitude. And I thank you.
Okay, I'll just tell you about this lady who went in to see the lawyer. And she said, I want a divorce from my husband. He says, okay. He says, do you have any ground? Let me take some notes. Well, we just own about 3/4 of an acre, she said. He said, he looked at her a little for a minute, and he said, well, let me ask you this question. Do you have a grudge? She says, no, we don't, but we do have a very nice carport. He paused a little longer this time. He says, listen, does he beat you up in the morning? She says, no, I'm always up before he is. He says, tell me, lady, why do you want to divorce this man? She says, well, to tell you the truth, she says, he just can't carry on a decent conversation. Gotta have skin. All you really need is skin. Skin's the thing that if you got it outside, it keeps up your insides in. It covers your nose, and it's wrapped around your toes. And inside you put the linen meringue, and outside you hang your clothes. Skin is what you feel at home in, and without it furthermore, both your liver and abdomen would be falling on the floor, and you'd be dressed in your intestines. Siamese twin needs an extra set of skin. When the doctor knows that you're feeling sick, where does he stick the needle in? In the end of your skin. All your friends and all your kinfolk, whether poor or whether rich, they have all got lots of kinfolks. It's convenient when they itch, nothing can match it when you scratch it. It fits perfectly. Your skin and mine free. When you're sitting down, it folds and looks grand. And then when you stand, it's where
You want me to be honest? Okay. You really did. He taught me to be honest by being honest. He taught me to work hard by hauling me out of bed at 2 o'clock in the morning to pick cherries.
And on today's menu,
peanut butter and honey sandwich.
and Doritos.
Doritos.
And
It's also good.
we got our prunes and fruit and stuff.
Yeah, apricots and figs and fruit bits.
Okay. And we got our dessert.
There's some pineapple, but I don't know who's going to eat it. Because
Me.
there's nothing to eat it with.
Yeah, look at
They aren't winners yet, but they do win.
the winner winners.
Yeah, Mom's got a dress that looks like Dad's shirt, but it's packed.
Try out this mineral water or fall water. I think we're going to have a fun picture here, Dark. You're going to be completely soaked. Well, is it salty?
No, it's not salty.
It's not salt water then.
Hang on. See that go, what would happen there?
Okay, come on down. Now let's go get our picture.
Okay, all right. We're having a little four-generation picture.
Mama. Today is Father's Day. And we have elastics. They say how old you are.
You didn't get it,
Brady, yeah.
Okay, come on back.
Go back to Daddy.
Come. Okay, tell us how old you are, Steve. I'm 25. Braden's 2.
I'm
old are you?
53.
54?
3. How old are you, Dad?
79.
79.
Well, congratulations, Grandpa.
I sure do. Can you help? I don't know what you can do, but if you can find some that fit, come and do it. You gotta put all the red ones together. All right, there's a red one. Find another red one. Get all the. Yeah, these are red. See, this is red. See, there's the red. You get all the red ones together, and we'll make them work. Okay? Oh. It's kind of a tough one, isn't it?
Grandpa's got to do this 1,000-piece puzzle that Danny said that was going to be his and Grandpa's project.
Right, and here we are in the middle of the beginning.
Well, you got started here.
In the beginning.
Here's a red one.
Oh yeah, there's a red one too. Yeah, there's some more red ones. You have to try all of the red ones, don't you?
I can't do it.
You've got to remember who came all the way from Barstow to come and see us on our soccer day.
Beautiful park of
Yes, and I was just thinking, here it is, the last of February.
29.
No coats, no sweaters. In fact, it's almost hot.
Are we having fun? Yeah.
Well, we are real glad that you were able to come.
Yeah.
I think life comes in segments. I think the first part of your life is just as an infant, crawling around, playing marbles on the floor, hiding behind a warm stove, a small house, just 3-room house.
Uh-huh.
And we'd hide behind a big, warm, coal stove there.
Well, where was this?
This was in Tremont. I was born in my grandparents' place in Elwood, but my parents owned a. There were just 2 large rooms out front. I guess you'd call them large. And then they built a lean-to where they had a kitchen, a fridge, and a breakfast nook.
Right.
That's where we ate, played marbles in the winter, ran out on the back porch and played on the lawn, watched my dad raise strawberries, climbed the tree we had in the backyard. And then I used to go, as I got older, Dad had a whole set of horses, team of horses, and he delivered stuff throughout the town, merchandise, freight, coal, anything to get a job, empty garbage.
What years would those have been?
Well, those were, I was born in 28, so those would have been 30, then the Depression hit in 29, and so I spent probably 29 to 36 with him, delivering and everything, going around streets and meeting merchants and looking for jobs that I could do. I'm always talking to the merchants to see if they needed any help to sweep the rooms or schools, or empty marked merchandise.
So you were like 6 and 7 years old then, and the depression was still on. And
My first real job was a nickel a room in sweeping my schoolroom at the elementary high level.
nickel a room.
That's great. Thank you for getting this together, Lindsay.
You're welcome. It was a group effort, Kelly.
Yeah, this is called Melody and Ed. And you recognize it if you're a biblical scholar. Feeling footloose and frisky, a feather rain fell, forced his father to fork over the farthest. He flew far to foreign fields and fretted his fortune, feasting fabulously with faithless friends. Finally facing famine and fleeced by his fellows in folly, he found himself a feed flicker in a filthy farmyard. Fairly famishing, he fain would have filled his frame with the forage food from the fodder fragments. Phooey, my funky's poor fat friendship, the fragile fugitive few previously frankly facing facts. Frustrated by failure and filled with foreboding, he fled forthwith to his family, and falling at his father's feet, he floundered forlorn. Father, I have flunked, and fruitlessly forfeit little sayings. Hickory, dickory, dock. 2 mice ran up the clock. The clock struck 1.
Sometimes we visit Grandpa with our ukuleles, or we bring piano music, and he loves to sing along with us. And this is one of the songs that we recently sang with him, so we thought we could show you. Okay, we'll start us out.
Northwestern states, and these were some of my roommates when I came back last night. Dwight Morrell, and he let me borrow his car to do some of my dating in there. He's the one on the right side. He since passed on. We had a home that we rented just off the campus of BYU, and we had 6 of us living there. We had a wonderful time. We'd invite the girls over and we played this stereo diversion act. And it was kind of a love story. Anyway, first year we got back, we had 6 of us. Hal Fox, Rory Reed, Ralph Jack, Norm Wright, Irving Watts, and the next year there were 12 of us. We called it Empty Arms. Yeah. The first place was Dunrowan. This is Empty Arms. And then the last place we lived together was Upper Arms. This is my first companion, Elder Hawley. That was in the state of Washington. I spent the first 4 months as his companion. Out there by Yakima. We used to sing, this is a quartet we sang when we lived in North Ogden. Beverly, Pat, and we sang 76 trombones. Now, I had the opportunity to go down to the Indian Reservation, the Navajo Indian Reservation, on a contract to teach the counselors how to administer tests. And so this is a family we stayed with while we were there. Really nice people. It was right in there. When we got out of the service, I worked at a job service under the Veterans Program. And we used to give awards to different employers who hired veterans and older folks. This is one of our gatherings at Empty Arms when we were going to college. Those are some of my roommates there and their dates. We used to have them come over and cook Sunday dinner for us. So we're tired of soup and pudding and peanut. But anyway, those were our dates. This is the lovely family that Bill and I had. My daughter and 4 sons. And we all look pretty happy there. Mark was born in 1959. Thank you. And and he's 59 years old. That is a picture of all the missionaries who went in the mission field in January of '49. There were 4 of us there who went to the northwestern states. Elder Whitehead, Elder Gifford, Elder Packard, and myself. And that was a get-together we had before we went out the next day on our mission. We rode up on a train, and it was the toughest winter I'd ever seen for a long time. We couldn't even see out the windows of the train, it was so bad. Elder Richard L. Henderson taught us when we got to the mission hall. But that one, Brother Packard there became, we entered the float there, the homecoming float at BYU. And there's 4 of the Empty Arms. And they got inside that house and played, come on in my house, come on. Rosemary Clooney sang that. I have most of the certificates of my ordinations. Growing up in the line priesthood and high priesthood, my missionary call, and certificate of order. When you're ordained a high priest, they used to give us a certificate. Richard L. Evans, he used to be the first speaker on KSL, the spoken word. He's the one that ordained me a high priest. He was an apostle. And then Brother Lee, Harold B. Lee's the one that...
Did you finally get an apple dessert, Darv?
I haven't finished it yet. I'm still working.
I'm just glad you finally got to eat some of it. You've had a lot of company today, haven't you?
It has really been a crowd. I've been so pleased. It's had such a good turnout. Those cards you made really got out far away on Judea's Plain.
Yes.
That's the name of it.
Do you remember the first Noel? Should we try it?
I think I do.
The first Noel, the angel did say, was there certain for shepherds and fields where they lay, in fields where they keeping their sheep, on a cold winter night that was so deep. Noel, Noel, Lord is the King of Israel.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah,
nice.
I haven't heard those for a long time.
Yeah.
They won't participate.
Well, today's Christmas Eve,
That's true.
2018, so it's a good time to sing them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the year's almost gone. One more week.
Yeah.
It's nice to reflect on it. Special quiet time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Dad just got out of the hospital yesterday after 2 days in the ICU and 2 days in the hospital. Here to get some therapy and get his strength back. He had some pretty good infections. So we're here sharing a little Christmas cheer.
That's a spirited song.
I know.
That's nice.
One of the best ever written. It's 200 years old this year.
Yeah?
It was written in
On
1880.
high.
What?
Angels we have heard on
Oh,
high.
okay, yeah.
You know that one, don't you? Okay, here we go.
Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the place, and the mountains reply, echo with their joyous strains.
That's a spirited song.
I know.
All is gone, all is gone.
That's nice.
Good.
One of the best ever written. It's 200 years old this year.
Yeah,
It was written in 1818.
that was written by someone in a church or something, wasn't
Yeah.
Yeah,
Franz Gruber.
Joseph Moore
Oh, Joseph Moore.
wrote the words, and then a few days later, Franz Gruber was a guitarist, and he wrote the song. They sang a little town in Austria, a little church.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.